We work primarily with pharmaceutical companies in R&D and specifically in oncology, and we help them aggregate and analyze genomic data for like drug discovery purposes. So one of the things that pharmaceutical companies do these days is when they run clinical studies, they will sequence the genomes essentially of tumors samples and also of patient samples, and basically all that data gets kind of essentially aggregated together and used to understand, why did a clinical trial succeed or why did it fail, and how can they kind of improve upon that for the future trials. Where we started was we knew that we would be ingesting hundreds of different sources of data. And, for the implementation of a solution around that, we said, okay, what technologies today can handle large amounts of data and lots of different kinds of data, and are super flexible when it comes to scaling it up and when it comes to representing that and make it easy to use. And so Elasticsearch just seemed to us to be the best technology, most versatile technology that we could kind of throw lots of different types of data at and then build on top of it, specialized solutions to help scientists use the data. When they have that ability to then query across lots of different data sources, they then have the ability to say, all the other people that had this kind of cancer before, they also had this mutation, or they also had this mutation in the same place, or something like that. They can ask those kinds of questions, because at the end of the day, that's all they have to go on, essentially, is like just bringing all the data together, finding out the patterns, and then tying that pattern to like a clinical outcome or like a clinical diagnostic. Why we liked Elasticsearch so much was it was so flexible and allowed us to do so many different types of things really quickly. And we're still doing that to this day. We have a very small team, we're less than 10 people, and we're able to accomplish so much with that small team. And so one of the reasons why Elasticsearch was such a great tool for us was that we just knew that the kind of almost like the default behavior of Elasticsearch is that it can ingest lots of different kinds of data. It has lots of different ways to query that data, and it can scale up relatively easily in terms of writing data and also reading data, which is obviously a big need that we had. I really liked Elasticsearch from the beginning because I just had a feeling that it was built on Lucene, which I had used before in a previous company, and I liked the way that it kind of just built upon a very solid technology, and then in order to kind of scale it up. And I felt like that was a very good approach because it was a proven technology. Without Elasticsearch, I don't want to think about it, to be honest, because I know how much we've invested in building with Elasticsearch and how useful it's been to us. It's really helped us go very far in a very short amount of time.